So this is a rather basic tutorial. We are walking through the functionalities of Massive. I have a MIDI track over here. There's an audio track, there's a MIDI track. I placed a MIDI file of my track Feel the Day, and I placed an instance of Massive onto that MIDI file. And here there's a plug preset selected. Let's listen in quickly. Yeah, and we have this preset selected. Over here you can select your presets from Massive, and there's only one at the moment. If you don't have such a good CPU, you can like slow down your CPU usage from Massive to an economic level for all the presets you're using, or just for that one single preset at the moment selected. Basically there are three types of views. There's the Synth view, where you can manipulate the sound, and there's an attributes view showing you the attributes of your Massive preset, and there's another view, your browser, and that one shows you collections of presets and also the macro control. We are coming to that one later. So the sound in Massive is created here on the left. It's manipulated, filtered, manipulated with effects over here, and with special functionalities and effects over here as well. And those two insert effects down here can be inserted at different points in the synthesizer. If you go to routing, here's where we start. That's here on the left. Then we can add noise. Then we could put insert effects over here. We could put them over here. We could put activate them wherever we want them. And in the end, here's a macro control area where you can assign macro controls to various knobs. So if I turn this thing and then assign it to the filter, and I assign it to the amplifier over here, and I can turn one knob and affect two other knobs. But let's start with the oscillators over here on the left. So these oscillators, we have three of them, and the first one sounds like this. You can select wavetables over here, like square to saw, pulse to saw, and analog, digital, hybrid, FX wavetables. And this knob over here is showing you where you are in your wavetable position. You can be at the beginning of the wavetable or at the end. The beginning of this wavetable is a square sound, and the end is a saw sound. So you notice a difference in the sound. Over here you have the amplifier telling you how loud this oscillator will be played out compared to the other ones. And over here you can have different modes. You can select different modes: bend plus, bend minus plus, bend minus, formant, spectrum. Those are different modes of manipulating the waveform, and over here you can decide on the intensity. For example, the bend waveform affects the speed of the playback speed of the curve. But I'm leaving the spectrum right now, and the same is true also for the second and the third oscillators. And over here you can pitch your oscillator. So if you wanted to play it one octave lower, you go down 12 semitones. Well, actually, since this was pitched a little off, so this would be one octave lower, but we're going back and we're increasing it just slightly, because that's giving you a nice effect of detuning. So I've put on all the 3 oscillators again. Over here with this knob you can decide whether you want to send this oscillator to filter 1, filter 2, or both of them equally by double clicking. All those oscillators are just sent out to filter 1 at the moment because filter 2 is actually not active. But we are going there in a minute. Modulation. The modulation can be applied on your different oscillators, or it can be off. So if you want to put on a ring modulation on the first oscillator, you would have to select this button over here. Let's play only the first oscillator. A phase modulation. So you see you can manipulate the modulation of all the oscillators with that section. Down here you can add noise, like percussive noises or white noises. You have a selection of bright brown tape, whatever, metallic. Let's add some white noise over here and make it more noticeable. If I'm taking down the amplifier, you notice it goes away completely, and it's like the filter over here also has something to do with that, but we are coming there in a minute. So if I turn up the amplifier, you notice how this is getting a lot more noticeable. So you can add in white noise as well. And yeah, the next important thing is the filter section over here. Like we're starting with the filter section with this knob that decides if we want to use those 2 filters serial, so after one another, first apply this one and then apply this one as well, or in a parallel way, so both of them are used applied at the same time. But since this one is off at the moment, we are only applying this one. Over here there's basically how much we are going to apply this filter, and this knob is deciding again how much these 2 filters are actually mixed. We can select different filters like low pass, so we are cutting off the high and passing through the low, or high pass, we are cutting out the low frequencies and letting the high frequencies pass. And well, all pass, double notch, we have several different filter types. And well, if we only use low pass filters, we can only manipulate the cutoff of the frequency and the resonance. But there's also something like a scream filter, and over here we can also adjust some kind of intensity of the screaming filter as well. But this knob is not always active, so we're leaving it with low pass at the moment. And we're going to the effect section over here, because you can see the first effect that we applied on all the stuff we just went through is a reverb, and we are also applying, it's active, delay. We can select reverb, small reverb, flangers, choruses, interesting delays, phasers, dimension expander, also a nice tool for more centered and mono sounds to give them a little more space. Let's leave it with the delay for now. And also over here there's a final equalizer where you can like boost the low frequencies or the high frequencies, and over here you can decide where you want to actually like cut off between those two. Let's check out the reverb for a minute. Dry wet gives you the amount of reverb applied. You can change the density and the color of the reverb as well. taking down the filter a little bit. So if we increase the size, it's more like a cathedral than a room, and like this it's more like a room. So those are the effects. The next thing we have over here, we have 4 envelope curves, and we can use those as well to manipulate sound. And over here, for example, the 4th envelope is always by default connected to the amplifier of the final output of the massive synthesizer. So over here you can in the end tell the sound if it's going to be short, long decay, long release times, if the attack is going to be quick or slow. And let's just apply it a little bit. So you see, you can make your sounds longer and more paddy or back to more pluggy over here. And yeah, like you assign those kinds of envelopes by dragging this cross somewhere else. And you see the envelope of the first envelope was dragged onto this area, this range of the filter. And also over here you can, like I told you before, you can control via macro controls the filter as well. So this knob basically does the same as if I was just turning the filter knob over here. But if I let's listen to it. Let's do it with this knob. Yeah, but the difference is like this knob only applies the filter in this area, so we don't have this lower area. If you want to apply it in the lower area as well, we like put this one down, or we want to use the macro control in all the areas, we place it there and we drag it up by holding the mouse. So now we can apply this filter button in all the in all the range. Yeah, that's how you use macro controls. Also, a fun tool is the LFO. We have 2 LFOs, or basically we can manipulate a lot more over here. So let's use an LFO instead of this filter control, and tell the LFO to be like put the filter somewhere here, and now drag down the LFO range to this area, so it only operates in this area. And then we tell the LFO to be synced and to play at a rate of 12, for example. Let's play it. So you get the typical LFO effect. Putting back the filter on because I kind of like the filter more in being used without the LFO. And what else do we have over here? We have a time glider. Let's pull this up and see what it does. Well, that one actually only makes sense if we are in monophone mode. So over here in voicing, we can decide if we want to use polyphonic polyphonic sound, so play several notes at a time and play them all, or if you want to use monophone voicing. Monophone. So now it's picking the highest notes of the MIDI file. Oh no, it's picking some. It's picking some, only one always. Okay, let's put on the time. So, like the synthesizer now takes a couple of milliseconds to jump from one note to the other, and it's not going like doot doot, it's going like woot. That's what you can adjust with this knob over here. So it's, I think in other synthesizers it's called portamento. Over here you have a little bit of vibrato. Okay, let's put the time back. Let's put it back on polyphone, because it's a pluck chord sound over here. And you see the microcontrol 1 is connected to this depth and rate of the vibrato. And that's pretty harsh, but a little bit is sounds pretty cool from time to time. And over here you can tell it like how it's going to be applied, with how much attack and how much decay. What else do we have? We have the key track functionality, and over here you can basically tell Massive for the lowest notes. If you go down, if you play on your piano and you go down there and you basically don't want to apply those notes anymore, you could actually drag it like this, and from the moment you're playing below this C over here, for example like this, it will only stay on one tone. That's sometimes kind of useful, and you can also select if this is going to be linear for all the oscillators, or do it for custom style for oscillator 1, 2, modulation and insert effects. Over here you can turn the stuff completely off, and the oscillators will not be affected. Over here we can perform some different, like we could insert different different waveforms onto all of, like envelopes onto our sound, and mess around with that. We don't have time to get into this too much right now, and as well with step sequencer, this is going to be in a more detailed tutorial on Massive. So going back to the overview of this synthesizer. This is basically the functionality of Massive, and now we could also maybe in the end place a insert effect. What could we use? Maybe bit crusher. You notice a bit crusher when you hear one. Let's place it right in front of the amplifier. And you notice the crushing effect on top, right? So always make sure you don't clip in the master, because then you're kind of distorting already your sound. Well, sometimes you want that, but yeah, make sure you don't have it in the red area over here before getting out on the channel. And well, I hope you understood a little more about Massive and enjoyed this tutorial, make sure or feel free to subscribe to our channel and check out our other videos. We also have a couple of Massive presets. Check the description for that. We have presets for deep house and for EDM and chill step and stuff like that. Over here, that's our EDM package, and we have a lot of presets going on in that package, like this one, for example. Yeah, and see you next time.